Hello, thanks for joining us. The frontman for the group representing Ukraine at the Eurovision Song Contest is calling for people across the world to protest Russia's invasion of his country. Kalush Orchestra's Oleh Psiuk was speaking from Israel, where the group have been rehearsing together for the first time since the war broke out.
Everyone who hears us, who knows about the situation in Ukraine, can help us, even if they can't fix the situation. Everyone has social networks, everyone can speak about it, just speak about it or write about it. They can tag people online and talk about how to stop the war in Ukraine.
Well, Kalush Orchestra are a favourite to win the Eurovision contest in the Italian city of Turin next month with their hip-hop lullaby, Stefania. Take a listen. Well, good luck to them. Next, an island of nature in the middle of concrete. That's how the iconic photographer Salgado describes the eco-friendly bamboo space that's hosting his new exhibition right in the heart of Paris's business district. Entitled Aqua Mater, the show is a collection of work by the Franco-Brazilian artist on the theme of water. Here's James Mulholland.
1,000 square meters of bamboo in the heart of Paris's business district, La Défense. Seemingly lost in a sea of concrete, this bamboo ark houses an unpublished collection of photographs by Brazilian photographer Sebastião Salgado.
This exhibition shows almost every different aspect of water. From an abundance of water, through oceans and major rivers, to drought and a complete lack of water.
The bamboo structure seems at odds with surrounding offices and tower blocks, the perfect contrast for Salgado's exhibition.
I think it's very important that people come here, that they see all this dryness, this forest of concrete that we've built. And in the middle, there's this bamboo flower, which represents the purity of nature.
In his work, prize-winning Colombian architect Simón Vélez aims to restore bamboo to its rightful place. Through his creations, he promotes responsible architecture at a time when the planet's resources are running low.
I've always said architecture must be more in harmony with nature. It should be more like food. Food is not totally vegetarian or totally meat-based. It's a perfect mix between minerals and plants. Architecture should be the same. It has to have a mineral component like concrete, steel, glass or brick, but also an organic component like wood, or, as we have here, bamboo. Bamboo is an alternative to leave the forest in peace.
This particular bamboo comes from the Amazon and requires very little water to grow. Aqua Mater aims to raise awareness of the importance and the fragility of water. The bamboo ark will remain moored in Paris's La Défense until September.
Now, it was his first trip to Africa. In July 1960, as a young photojournalist, Raymond Depardon flew to Algiers to cover the Algerian war. As part of the commemorations to mark 60 years since the country's independence from France, the now iconic French photographer is showing the images he took during the conflict and during his other visits over the years, alongside texts from Algerian writer Kamel Daoud. Here's James Mulholland.
Alger, c'est devenu le royaume de la peur.
In 1961, at the age of 19, French photographer Raymond Depardon travelled to Algeria for the first time. These are the images he brought back from that trip, which convey the atmosphere on the other side of the Mediterranean.
I remember back then they told me, Raymond, if you get caught, hide your films in your underpants and your socks. That's how it was back then. It was a violent time.
60 years on, his candid photos tell the story of the last months of French Algeria. After 7 years of war, Depardon captured the tragedies of the moment, like this protest by the Pieds Noirs, French and Europeans born in French Algeria, who knew that independence was inevitable.
This photo is something of a metaphor of the situation in Algeria in 1961. This man, perhaps a former soldier, a colonizer, a Pied Noir, he's angry. And there's this huge storm which came down with such force, but he just stands there, frozen in the middle of the street. He symbolizes all the anger, the pain, the desperation of this community which doesn't want to leave Algeria.
Depardon remained scrupulously impartial. On the streets of Algiers, he documented the day-to-day malaise between the two communities, on the verge of turning their backs on each other forever after 130 years of living side by side.
I was 19, so I looked at young women, young European women there with their mothers, their grandmothers, and there was this separate community living in the same buildings, sharing the same spaces. They knew each other, but there was such a strange atmosphere between them.
In 1962, Depardon followed the Algerian delegation during the long, difficult peace negotiations to put an end to a war in which tens of thousands died. As the Evian Accords were signed, the photographer this time captured hope, that of a newly independent nation.
And the exhibition is on at Paris's Arab World Institute until July. It's become a phenomenon in Paris. The Atelier de Lumière offers a larger-than-life version of works of art by great artists. It transforms masterpieces into a sound and light show. The latest virtual experience explores the paintings of French Impressionist artist Paul Cézanne. Here's Nick Rushworth.
We are in Paris, but the scenery is pure Provence in the south of France. The venue, the Atelier des Lumières, is a former foundry that's been turned into a centre of digital art. The walls are draped in the colours of Paul Cézanne. The artist produced more than 1,000 paintings, around half are shown. Not least among them his depiction of apples, bathers and card players.
This is an immersive experience. It's not about learning with the brain or the intellect. It's about having a feeling for the art, a sensory experience. That works well, especially with the young people.
There's no commentary and there are no captions to read. 140 video projectors on the ceiling show a sea of images on the walls. Visitors roam as they like and are mesmerized.
It's very moving. You want to touch. It's a live show. You reach out and touch right away. The mix of music and color is just magical.
He's talented. It's very beautiful.
The journey into Cézanne's world ends with his paintings of the Sainte-Victoire mountain near Aix-en-Provence. It fascinated the artist. It was the subject of 87 of his paintings.
And just before we go, marking the 5th anniversary since the death of French rock star Johnny Hallyday, a new documentary series is making its way to Netflix. Johnny Hallyday Beyond Rock is an intimate exploration of the life and career of one of France's most prominent musicians. His name may not resonate with you, but here in France, he was dubbed the French Elvis. The biopic is narrated by the star himself. We'll leave you with that. Remember our website, we're also on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
J'ai des crises de cafard immenses des fois parce que je me sens seul, terriblement seul. Quand on atterrit au fond du gouffre, ça donne envie de donner un coup de pied et de remonter. seul moment où je suis peut-être sincère avec moi-même, c'est quand je suis sur scène.
J'oublie que je suis Jean-Philippe Schmid.
Je suis complètement ailleurs. Je suis plus exactement moi-même. Je suis plus là en fin de compte.